we strongly encourage everyone to stay home if you do not have to be out.
The Memphis police chief is asking everyone to stay home tonight after rapper Young Dolph is down at a South Memphis cookie shop.
There will be extra police presence in many parts of the city that might have a connection to the popular rapper to make sure there is no more.
The Young Dolph passing trial began today, revealing never-before-seen evidence of how he actually passed away. As in the opening statement, Young Dolph's bodyguard explained that Dolph had a long-lasting beef with CMG, the label. The same label owned by Yo Gotti, who would eventually put money to have Young Dolph dealt.
That's his chain, PRE.
And what did PRE stand for?
Paper Route Entertainment.
Did he have any issues with other labels?
Yes, ma'am.
What label was that?
CMG.
And what does CMG stand for?
I really don't know what it stands for.
Okay, CMG. And the label you mentioned, CMG, that he had conflict with, that he used to go and have conflict with. Who are some of the artists on that label, if you're familiar?
The only one that I knew of was Yo Gotti.
Young Dolph's bodyguard wanted the jury to know that Dolph had many enemies. This way, when the prosecutors read the never-before-heard police files of how he passed away and who did it, it made a lot more sense. These new police files have so many details you wouldn't even believe even Young Dolph's final words. But first, like the video if you're a Young Dolph fan. As the trial day began with the prosecutors reading out that on Tuesday, November 17th, 20121, Memphis rapper Young Dolph stepped into Makita's Homemade Butter Cookies, a beloved local bakery that he went to whenever he was back home in Memphis. The 36-year-old artist was in town for his annual Thanksgiving charity event, trying to give back to his community that gave him so much on the come up.
Did Young Dolph have an event or something big going on during November 2021?
Yes, ma'am. Every November, he would do a turkey drive for the community.
And explain us what you mean by turkey drive.
He would go to several communities and give out turkeys.
And would he do this personally?
Yes.
Did he also have members of his label there as well?
Yes, ma'am.
In November of 2021, was he in Memphis doing that?
He was in Memphis, but he didn't participate in the turkey drive.
As in the bright, early afternoon, Young Dolph waited inside of his favorite cookie shop when a white two-door Mercedes would pull up outside. In an instant, two masked men would leap from their vehicle, armed and ready, shattering the quiet scene, targeting Young Dolph as only him and his brother were inside, as the suspect's girlfriend would snitch in court, confirming the hit. That her boyfriend was the main lead man, jumping out of the white Mercedes first and acting on Young Dolph.
So what did he tell you?
He said, something about a hit.
A hit on who?
Dolph.
So Cornelius Smith told you that he talked about a Dolph hit with Hernandez Govan?
Yes.
Okay. So do you remember when Mr. Smith told you about that conversation?
I can't remember exactly.
Was it in 2021? Was it hot or cold outside? Do you remember?
It was hotter.
Okay.
Okay, as police records would note, it happened in broad daylight. As surveillance footage would later reveal an image of two men in sweatshirts and masks, one with a banana clip firearm while the other one was just having a regular one at 12:24 p.m. Memphis police officers would then respond to the incident with somebody calling on the Airways Boulevard that they found Young Dolph laying in the Makita shop floor, being affected multiple times by two masked men, saying they approached. The storefront immediately began opening fire through the window, spraying the interior of the shop. But in the chaos, even an employee was diving behind for cover as rounds tore through the glass and walls. Young Dolph's own brother, who was with him in the cookie shop, was able to scramble to safety. Meanwhile, his brother was affected 22 times and had no chance of escaping. Young Dolph sadly passed at the scene before help could arrive. A witness to the crime called police, saying on the phone he was inside Makita's. Someone just rolled up on him and took his life. while outside of the bakery, witnesses would begin piling up, not even able to comprehend at what they're looking at as their beloved hometown rapper was just ran down. In the neighborhood cookie store, while the two hitters would flee the scene as quickly as they came, they would peel away in the white Mercedes, but while trying to exit Makita's parking lot, Young Dolph's brother would quickly grab a firearm located in the Corvette of Young Dolph and begin using it towards the Mercedes, leaving behind a scene of shattered glass and shell casings. They were able to escape until they would be arrested in one of the dumbest ways that you will not even believe. The main suspect's name is Cornelius Smith. His girlfriend took the stand in trial and said everything. She would even explain that Big Juke was the one that put money on Young Dolph's head, who was a close affiliate of Yodi. Big Juke and Yodi were main men in CMG, where his girlfriend would later reveal the money that CMG had on Young Dolph's head.
Did he ever tell you about a dollar amount?
He mentioned a dollar amount.
Do you remember what that dollar amount was?
It was between $1 million and 1.5.
And so this discussion that y'all had, was it before Adolph Horton?
Yeah.
Okay. And so did Mr. Smith ever tell you any specifics about this hit on Dolph?
No.
She would also reveal that after the crime took place, the suspects would then go to a nearby apartment complex, hiding out, changing their clothes until they called his girlfriend to come pick him up, which made her extremely angry.
Does that car look familiar?
Yeah.
Is that your car?
Yes.
And who were you waiting on at that point?
Cornelius.
And who's that walking out right there?
It's Cornelius with a bag in his hand.
Is Cornelius in the black?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, is he walking towards your car?
Yes.
With the getaway car found in surveillance photos publicized, the hunt for Young Dolph suspects intensify. You won't even believe where the getaway car was found. According to trial, the prosecutors found the white Mercedes parked across the street from a man named Hernandez Govin's house. This is the man that worked with Big Juke and Yodi to set up the entire hit.
They get back in the car, speed off, but not before Thornton's brother, Marcus Thornton, fires and Smith. So Smith and Johnson are in this stolen white Mercedes. But where do they go? They go to ditch the car. They ditch the car, and we'll hear from Sergeant Dabney that the car was left at 1174 Bradley Street, which they later found out is directly across the street from the defendant's home.
When the police found the white Mercedes parked across the street from Hernandez's house, it was obvious who was guilty. They had more than enough evidence to prove who did this crime, which began the manhunt for the two suspects and Hernandez Federal. Marshals, Memphis detectives, and Tennessee state troopers all joined forces just to track these three men. By early January 2022, authorities announced a major break, saying the two suspects were identified and indicted by a grand jury for the passing of Young Dolph. But on January 5th, 2022, Marshals Service went public with the name of Justin Johnson, the 23-year-old Memphis man that worked alongside Cornelius for the hit of Young Dolph. Johnson was an aspiring rapper who went by the handle of Straight Drop. He previously posted on social media proclaiming his innocence and then even teased that he would turn himself in, but instead he would vanish, where the marshals received a tip a week later that Johnson was traveling on a highway in Indiana. This resulted in a coordinated takedown on January 11th, where Justin Johnson was captured near Brazil, Indiana, where he was seen riding in a truck with another man. The arrest was made without an incident, ending a nationwide manhunt. The man widely believed to be one of the hitters, but it wasn't until the second suspect, Cornelius Smith, was arrested for the passing of Young Dolph, who would end up snitching on CMG, Yodi, and Hernandez, thankfully, when the police had enough evidence to prove Cornelius did the crime towards Young Dolph. He was already in jail for stealing the white Mercedes as investigators impounded the vehicle that was parked across the street from Hernandez's home. Was able to link him to the vehicle, as he had his own personal belongings still in the vehicle on January 18th, 2022. A Shelby County grand jury then formally indicted both Johnson and Smith on the charges of first degree, M of Young Dolph, but it wasn't until police also took in Cornelius's girlfriend for picking them up at the apartment complex where she would immediately snitch on him as stated in the trial.
Ms. Arnold, are you familiar with someone named Cornelius Smith?
Yes.
How are you familiar with him?
Dating, my boyfriend.
How long have you been with Ms. Smith?
Since 2016.
And were you dating him in 2021?
Yes.
Do you know an individual by the name of Hernandez Goban?
I don't know him, but I've seen him.
If you
I
could
know
look,
of him.
okay, but you've seen him before?
Yes.
If you could look around the courtroom and tell us if you see him here today,
Yes.
could you point him out and identify him for the record, please?
A gray shirt with a gray tie.
Where she wanted no part of this court case, she didn't say that she committed any sort of crime. So she said she'd tell the police anything. Well, she would explain the last time that she saw her boyfriend Cornelius before he got arrested.
He dropped me off at work.
Okay. And that was the last time you remember seeing him?
Mm-hmm.
And to your knowledge, was he arrested today?
Yes. He left me stranded at work. I didn't realize he had got locked up until the next day. Because I was stranded at work. He was in my car. He had my phone, so I had no way of calling him or anything. So the next day when I got up, my daughter took me over his baby mom's house, and that's when I found out that he had got arrested.
So, with his girlfriend snitching on him, Cornelius would then also snitch because he's already being snitched on, he would enter the courtroom. Today, snitching on everybody involved, his first few words was pointing out the man that paid him money to go do the crime.
And if it's okay, can I call you Cornelius?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Cornelius. You know an individual by the name of Hernandez Goban?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you see that individual in the courtroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you point to that individual and describe what he or she was wearing?
Man, right here with the white shirt on, black tie, bald head.
He wasted no time snitching on Hernandez, the man that wanted Young Dolph dealt with, as when Cornelius went to Hernandez's home. Hernandez would ask him if he wanted to make some money. Cornelius at the time would explain he was extremely broke. So he said yes immediately, where Hernandez would then explain how he would make the money.
How were you supposed to make extra money?
Well, he told me that, it was a little bound on a couple paper out here.
Okay, I ain't understand nothing you said.
It was a hit on, it was a hit at the time on a couple guys in paper out here, on paper out here or whatever.
Okay, and what were some of those individuals' names, if you can recall?
Paper out Woo, Young Dolph. I don't know all the names, because I ain't know who they were.
When saying there was bounties on paper, he is referring to Young Dolph's label Paper Route Empire. He would then even go into full detail about the prices that he would have gotten if he completed the jobs, which left the entire courtroom speechless.
He mentioned the prices on, who had 50 on his head. Young Dolph had 100 on his head, 5 on his head, 10 on his head. He mentioned the prices too.
So it was almost like a catalog. This person cost this much.
Yeah,
This
he
person
was
cost
telling
this
us
much.
who had money on their head, who had the most money on their head,
And who had
prices.
who had
Young Dolph had the most money on his head.
And he had 100,000.
100,000 on his head.
And when you say his head,
I mean, if you Dolph, you get 100,000 now.
Where shortly after the entire beef between YOTCMG and Young Dolph would be explained to the jury with evidence that you wouldn't even believe. It reads Young Dolph and Yoti were both famous rappers from Memphis back in 2014. Yoti wanted Dolph to join his record label. Dolph said no because he wanted to stay independent and build his own company called Paper Route Empire. This decision caused a bad altercation between the two as the beef would end up growing worse and worse throughout the years, but it wasn't until Young Dolph released a diss track titled Play With Your Girl. This mocked Yo Gotti in every way possible. After that, the real incident started in 2017. Young Dolph's car was affected 100 times by firearms in Charlotte. He survived thankfully due to his SUV being bulletproof, but later on that same year he was targeted again in Las Vegas and almost passed away. Police even looked at Yo Gotti as a person of interest, but he was never charged. Another rapper close to Gotti, Black Youngsta, was arrested for the Charlotte incident. By 2021, the feud was still not over. Prosecutors say Yoti's older brother Big Juke then put a $100,000 bounty on Young Dolph. This means that he offered money for someone to get him. If you completed the job, you get the bag. They say that Big Juke also put smaller bounties on other rappers that were signed to Young Dolph's label, a competitor label to CMG. A man named Hernandez Govan was then accused of being the one who set up the entire plan. Govan gave the hitters Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith the location of where Young Dolph would be. He then promised that he would pay them after the job was complete. Govan was supposed to keep $10,000 to himself for setting up the deal, but what made things worse for him was that the white Mercedes used in the crime was parked across the street of his home. Investigators said this tied him perfectly to the crime. Cornelius testified in court, saying Hernandez was the one that gave them the green light, telling them that Dolph would be at the cookie shop and gave them the opportunity, which is exactly how Young Dolph passed away. Comment down below if you were a Young Dolph fan and leave a like.